Okay, we're going to do a little intro to percent proportions. We've already done proportions, so this shouldn't be too much new. In case you don't recognize this, this is the inside of the foldable that we put inside in your book. It says part, whole, and percent and 100 on there. So this is the inside of that, and there's nothing there because you probably haven't written anything. Okay, so here we go. The way that you do a percent proportion is, it is always set up the same way. On the left-hand side, on the top, and let me go ahead and make my little line there, you're going to put the part up there, and that's why this is labeled part on the outside. And I'm also going to put is, because this is typically the word that will be used inside the word problem. We will see that in just a moment. Now on the bottom of that, you're going to put the whole. Now the other side of this is labeled whole, but I'm going to put the word of right here on the inside, because that is usually a word that you're going to find in a word problem with percent proportions. It'll be the part is the whole of. On the other side of the proportion, on the top, you're going to have the percent that you're looking for or something like that. And then that is always going to be on the bottom 100, because 100% is the whole thing. So taking that to the problem that we have in our book, this is right below this little foldable that we put in there. It says, after the last quiz, Mr. Hill shared that 67% of the students in his class of 24 students made a passing grade on their last quiz. How many students in Mr. Hill's class passed their quiz? So it says that we have 67%. So that would be 67% out of the 100%. Okay, so that fills in that side. Going back to this first side over here, it says of 24 students. Well, that is the whole. The whole class has 24 students. Notice that word of in the problem, like I told you it would be there. Now the question is, how many students in Mr. Hill's class passed the quiz? So we don't know what that part is. We have no idea what that part is, so we're going to use a variable to stand for that part, which would be x. And mine looks kind of weird there because I just made a little mess up. Okay, so now I'm going to go down at the bottom section of my page 48, and I'm going to work this out. So this is the problem right here. Starts out with after, and now I'm going to start working out the problem. So I had x over 24, and that was equal to 67 over 100. So this is the percent proportion that I came up with. Okay, now what we've got to do, our first step is we've got to cross multiply. Just like I've told you with all percent proportions, we've got to cross multiply. So that means those two get multiplied and those two get multiplied. So if I multiply those out, 100 times x is 100x, and 24 times 67, well, I'm going to actually come out here and have to multiply that, because I don't know 24 times 67 off the top of my head. There's 28. There's 16 right there. Add my 0. There's 24. And there's 14. So I'm going to get 1608. So this would be 1608, 1608. Now, in order to solve the rest of this, I have to look at it as solving it like an algebra problem. Okay, I want the x by itself, and I am multiplying 100 times that x. So in order to get the 100 out of there, I have to do the opposite of multiply, which is divide. One way you can show division is draw a line. Now, in an equation, everything has to balance out. So in order to balance this out, I have to do the other side. So if you do 100 divided by 100, you get 1. Well, 1x is the same thing as 1. So I'm just going to get x. So I'm going to come over here and put down x. So I would get x because those cancel. Now I have to do 1,608 divided by 100. Now I know from my past experience that when I divide by 100, I just move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. So I should get 16.08. So I'm going to write down 16.08. And in case you don't know what I am saying, what I did was I took 100 into 1,608. It can't go in until right here where it goes in 1 time. And I get 60 left. And it can't go in, there's my, my decimal should be here. See, it can go in right here 6 times, which would be 600, which I get 8 left. Add a 0 with my decimal. It can't go in there. Add another 0. And it can go in here 8 times to get 800. So yes, the decimal did just move 2 spaces to the left. 1608, 1.16.08. That is my answer. So since I can't have 0.08 of a person, because that would be kind of gruesome, I'm going to get that 16 people pass the test. That's the reasonable answer. So you always have to look at the answer. Is it reasonable in this case? Yes, it would be reasonable to have 16 people. 16.08, it would be tough for 0.08 of a person to pass a test. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to look across the page on page 49. There is another problem set up over there. I want you to work it as best you can using this one as an example and try and solve that problem tomorrow for class. Have it ready to go. I will see you tomorrow. Good luck and God bless.